Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen, Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina wa Maulana Muhammadin sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure and an honor again to have Shaykh Allie Khalfe here. He will honor us today with the speech, the khutbah, salah, and everything, inshallah. And I'll speak a little bit later thereafter. We welcome him and we thank him for being here. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. If we look at the opening of the Quran, and we all look at the same Quran, then the first idea, the first thing that we are introduced to is Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It starts with a preposition ba, and then goes to an ism, a noun. And the word ism comes from, what does ism mean? Name. It comes from sumu. Sumu means ulu, and ulu means elevation. So your name elevates you. Others say ism comes from wasama. Wasama comes from alama, and alama means to symbolize. So your name symbolizes who you are. Others say ism comes from sima, which means to brand. So you are branded as a worshipper of Allah. So your name is not like a label you hang up. A name has symbolism, it has elevation, and it has a branding. And that's the name we read in the symbolic name, Allah. But it's not left like that. It's not Bismillah. It's Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There's two attributes that we are introduced to when we open the Quran: mercy and compassion. Rahman and Rahim are two intensive forms of the word Rahmah. And if you open the next surah, the same idea is there. In the name of Allah, but not just in His name, in the name of mercy and compassion. And try the next surah and the next surah, just one is void of it, and you'll find it 112 times over and over and over. That Allah Ta'ala chose through His divine will that the last revelation to the entire created order should be opened with mercy and compassion. And then you wonder why we are focusing so much on how deep in Jahannam we are going to land. Because every single page in the Quran carries the word Rahmah. And if one page skips Rahmah, the next page mentions it twice. And if that two pages skips it, it's mentioned 10 times on the next page. And then you have a surah called Ar-Rahman. Rahman and Rahim are both derived from the word Rahmah, mercy. And Rahmah comes from the word Rahim. Do you know what Rahim means? The wombs of our mothers. Our mothers' wombs are the sources of Rahmah. It's the very place where mercy flows from. Do you know that you can scum me out later if I say something wrong. The word Imam, a leader, is rooted in the word mother. So as an imam in the front, remember where we came from. There can be no leader except they came from a womb of a mother. Do you know the word ummah is feminine? And it also comes from the word because there can be no nation or ummah except the mother gave birth to that ummah. Our ulama have told us that the greatest wali amongst the females is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother, Amina. And her karama was giving birth to the best of creation, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wearing green purposefully today because today is the first of Rabi', and Rabi' means spring. And spring indicates greenery, blooming, lush, and happiness and joy. And that is what the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam should represent to us. And if opening each surah in the Quran with Rahman and Rahim is not enough, Allah Ta'ala then chose to mention His Prophet as a rahmatan, not to Muslimin, but a rahmatan lil alameen, and mercy to the entire created order. Not a governor, not a political leader, but a mercy to the entire creation. And then mentioned one more thing, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ, and he is one of sublime character. But you can't feel that unless you go through the Arabic. So let me share some rhetoric or balagha with you in this verse. Do you know Inna has two ideas, tawqeed and takrar. If I want to say Muhammad is pious, then I scream it out twice. Muhammad is pious, Muhammad is pious. Muhammadun salihun, Muhammadun salihun. But Arabic has this beauty in a tool called tawqeed. Inna means Muhammad is pious times 2 with that inna. Inna means force times 2. It carries takrar, repetition. So instead of me saying Muhammadun salihun, I say Inna Muhammadan salihun. And that is times 2. Now this verse indicating the Prophet's character says wa innaka. So there's emphasis. Kaf is exclusively to you, O Prophet. The letter lam, la'ala, lam is triple emphasis. Ala means over and above. And the word khuluqin with a tanween in balagha means the heart of a sentence. The heart of the sentence is his khuluq, his character. And his character is azim, immense and intense and above anything that we can ever imagine. So the whole verse is a verse of rhetoric telling us that linguistically, whatever angle you want to look at, this nur and light from Allah Ta'ala was of sublime character, surpassing any other character, and he was a pure mercy to the entire created order. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I remember in one of the seerah books, one of the writers of the prophetic biography said, Kana yakhtub. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was giving a khutbah. So just imagine this, and then look how far we've gone from this spirit. Kana yakhtub, he was giving a khutbah. So he's standing there. Wara'a al-Hasan, and he sees his grandson, wa huwa saghir, and he was a baby still, tripping over his feet. Qata al-khutbah, and he stops his khutbah. If I were to stop my khutbah here, I think you'd think I'm a bit mad. But look at this beautiful human being. Qata al-khutbah. Wa nazala, and he comes down, liyahtadin al-Hasan, to hug his grandchild and then go back up. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Kana yasjud, once he was in sujood. Ja'at Umama bint Zainab, and his granddaughter Umama comes. فَرَكِبَتْ عَلَى ظَهْرِهِ, and she climbs on his back. What does he do? فَطَالَتْ السُّجُودِ, and he extends his sujood so long حَتَّى تَنْتَهِيَ مِنَ اللَّعْبِ أَثْنَاءَ الصَّلَاةِ, so she can have enough time to finish playing on his back. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. كَانَ يُصَلِّي, once he was praying, وَسَمِعَ طِفْلًا يَبْكِي, and he hears a baby crying. فَأَسْرَعَ الصَّلَاةِ, and he speeds up his salah because he knows how the mother feels. Look at when he broke his khutbah, look at when he extended his sujood, and look at when he sped through his salah. And then we should ask ourselves, are we going further to this beautiful human being, or are we going further away? There are 7 levels of Jahannam mentioned in the Quran. Jahannam, 7 levels. Do you know that only one applies to Muslims, and you're not allowed to quote the others to Muslims? It's a crime that you're doing a disservice to our text. The other levels are specific for Fir'aun, for oppressors, for those who bury children alive. You're not allowed to quote it if you study theology, which is something I'm doing my master's in at the moment. It is not meant for Muslims. You know, it's possible for Muslims to enter Jahannam, but forbidden for them to stay in there forever. It's foreign for us to enter Jannah, and it's impossible for us to exit Jannah. Because heaven is because of us. If without us, what's the purpose? Allah has created these things for us, but we need to work toward entering it. This dunya, in the past, the ulama would say, is a mazra', a farm. And here we plant the seeds, the fruits of which our souls will reap in the akhirah. Every step we take, we are building that paradise right now. If you look at the Prophet ﷺ's attitude at Uhud, when they knocked his tooth out and they said, our Prophet cursed him, he responded, I am not sent as a curse. And he raised his hands and he said, Allahumma hdi qawmi, for Allah guide my people, his enemies. فَإِنَّهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, they know not what they are doing. Look at this response. If you look at Ta'if, when they threw him to the ground, bleeding, and they kicked him out, and the angel of the mountains was sent to him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they asked him, my Lord has commanded me that at your command this town must be crushed, and he said, leave them alone, maybe one of their children worships Allah sincerely one day, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At the Fath of Makkah, there were 10,000 strong, and Abu Ubaidah carried the flag, and he said, Al-Yawm, Yawm Al-Malhama, today is a day of destruction. And the Prophet ﷺ commanded that the flag be taken off him, and told him to chant, Al-Yawm, Yawm Al-Marhama, today is a day of Rahmah. And we stood at the door of the Kaaba, and they asked him, what will you do with us today? And he said, La tathrib alaykum al-yawm. He said, I say to you what Yusuf alayhi salam said, there is no revenge on you today. Allah will forgive you because He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Have we taken in or understood what the purpose of this deen is, the foundation of this deen? That it is rahmah, it is mercy. It is to become a merciful human being. A heart that is salim. Only 500 plus verses speaks about fiqh in the Quran. What does the other 6,000 speak about? For the first 13 years in Makkah, there's two periods, a Meccan phase and a Medinan phase. So what's a Meccan phase? A Meccan phase, in the first opinion, is all those verses revealed in Makkah. A Medinan phase is the last 10 years, all the verses revealed in Medina, 23 years. Others say no, the Meccan phase is that if the verse was revealed before the Hijrah, even in Medina, it's called Meccan. And if the verse was revealed after the Hijrah, even if it was revealed in Makkah, it's called Medinan. So they look at time, not place. And the third opinion says, you must look at who is addressed. If a Meccan is addressed, it's Meccan. If a Medinan is addressed, it's Medinan. So they don't look at time and place, they look at who is being addressed. But for the first 13 years, there is no Hajj. There is no fasting that's fard. There is no zakah that's fard. And there's no salah that's fard except after 13 years on the Mi'raj, 5 salahs are made fard. So what were they doing for 13 years? They were binding their hearts to a life to come in Akhirah. Because most of them, as the Quran says, فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ أَغْلَالٌ, there were shackles around their necks. Allah Ta'ala doesn't do this to people. This is called isti'ara tamthiliya. It's a metaphor coined to show you what's happening. That their necks are shackled إِلَى الْأَذْقَانِ, till their chins, فَهُمْ مُقْمَحُونَ, and they are muqmah. A muqmah is a camel who goes to drink, it's thirsty, but it will never bend down until you give it a hiding. It's arrogant. So the idea here is that their necks are so shackled here, they can never bow down in humility again. وَمِن بَيْنِ أَيْدِهِمْ سَدًّا, there's a barrier in front of them, they don't know there's an akhirah. وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا, خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا, and a barrier behind them. So they're trapped in temporality, they are trapped in this dunya, and the dunya is their focus. And the Prophet ﷺ for the first 13 years came to lift that shackles off and tell them, you are working for your ruh in the akhirah. And then only in Medina, on the night of Mi'raj, was 5 salahs made fard. First was 50. And the Prophet ﷺ came back, and who did he meet? Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Musa is an ancient Coptic name, it's not Arabic. Most of the Prophet's names are non-Arabic. Musa comes from Pharaoh's wife found the baby in a box or in a treasure in a chest where the water made a tree, and water is called Mu and tree is called Sa, and she named him Musa. So the name is symbolic. But he told the Prophet ﷺ, go back, your people won't make 50 salahs. And finally it came to 5, and the Prophet ﷺ said, I'm shy to go back. They say the idea of Musa was dual. Takhfif, to make it easy, but the inner meaning, he wanted to see the Nabi over and over and over. Because every time the Prophet met Allah, his nur increased, and he wanted to be in the presence of that light that was in the presence of Allah. That's the sir inside him. So it becomes 5 salahs which we do a day. And we sometimes become blind to the rahmah, the mercy, and the nur in this phrase. Do you know what this means here when you do this? Just have a look at this. This is taking your hands, the back of your hands, and telling the dunya, just leave me alone for 5 minutes. Get away. And then you show Allah how poor you are. This is a symbol of poverty. And when you are poor before Allah, you are spiritually rich. And now your heart is ready to face the feet of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because we're not walking around bricks, we are walking in his footsteps 5 times a day. We hope that we can face our hearts to his feet and one day walk in his footsteps around that Kaaba. The symbolism is almost gone. We're becoming almost robotic, just doing things up and down. Do you know why you stand and why you bow and why you go in sujood? Standing should remind you of your youth, your fitness. Bowing should remind you of your middle age, when you won't be that fit anymore. And sujood should remind you that someone's going to have to help me get up again. Our entire salah is a rehearsal of Adam's life, alayhi salam, and our life cycle that we are going through. Do you know that when you go into sujood, you're literally lifting your heart above your head, and when your heart goes above your head, both your heart and your body goes into sujood, and at that point your soul goes into sujood. That's why that posture is so tranquil and so peaceful. The Quran speaks about 500 verses on fiqh, but the rest are talking about 2 other ideas. It opens with فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٍ فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا, a heart which is afflicted with sickness. And there's 3 types of hearts mentioned in the Quran broadly. A qalbun mareed, a sick heart, a qalbun mayyit, a dead heart, and a qalbun salim, a sound heart. A qalbun mayyit, a dead heart, is a heart that rejects a life to come. And number 2, a divine being that created everything, that has no beginning and no end. A qalbun mareed, a sick heart, is a heart that accepts a life to come and a divine being, but this dunya has absorbed this person so much and taken root of this person that they prefer the dunya to the akhirah. In one of the classical texts of Wa'ad and Wa'id, reminding Abu Layth Samarkandi, Hanafi jurist in the 3rd century, lists 10 points of happiness. And he says the first point of Sa'ada, happiness, is أن تكون زاهدا في الدنيا راغبا في الآخرة. First sign of happiness is that you take less from the dunya and that you prefer the akhirah. And the first sign of sadness is that your priority in life is to become wealthy. This is just the classical understanding. You know what the Arabic word for dhahab, for gold is? Dhahab. Do you know what the Arabic word for he's gone means? Dhahab. Because gold was never meant to last. And our hearts need to be built on something which is stable, which is the akhirah. Doesn't mean you forsake it, but you prioritize things. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Az-zuhd fi dunya yurihul qalb wal badan." Taking less from this dunya relaxes your heart and your body. Test it out and try. وَالرَّغْبَةُ فِيهَا, and to run after it, تُتْعِبُ الْقَلْبِ وَالْبَدْنِ, stresses your heart out and your body. That's the nature of the dunya. Why? Because once you put your foot in, everyone's competing for that thing. And once you find, you need to be inspired to want to take less. Someone has to inspire you. Mus'ab bin Umayr was one of the richest Adnani Meccans who moved to Makkah. The richest families there. He had different clothes every day. So he said, I'm going to go listen to what this man has to say in Medina and give it a go. He went there and the first thing he heard was Afshu Salam. The Prophet ﷺ said, spread peace. Pray at night when people sleep. And fast in the day when people eat. And you will enter paradise in peace. And he says, I swear this is not a liar. This man is speaking the truth. And he was so impressed that the next day they saw him walking with a sheep sack on. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And they went to the Prophet ﷺ and asked him, look here, what are you doing to the people? When they come to you, the next day they change. Is it sorcery or witchcraft, or what are you doing? And he said, Dakhala nur Islam fi qalbihi. The nur of Islam penetrated his heart so much that he threw his clothes away. That was because of the personality of the Prophet ﷺ. He inspired him and he forsook this dunya. But we are not obliged to do that. It means letting the dunya out of your heart but not in your hands. because we have to study and be the wealthiest of people, and that's the only way we build this dunya. But it shouldn't enter and take root into our hearts. If we look at the different ideas in the Quran of love, mercy and compassion, you find that even faith is built upon love. Allah Ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. Those who claim to have faith don't just have love for Allah, but an intense love for Allah. These ideas draw you toward wanting to pray, because you are worshipping a Lord who is intensely merciful, and He is full of love, and He has created a paradise for us. He has increased our reward 10 to 700 times per good deed, depending on our intention. And He has created angels on our shoulders. The one on the right is called the Amir, the one on the left is called the servant. According to the Asah, the most soundest of narrations, is that the one on the right is called Raqib and Atid, the writer and the scribe. And the one on the left is called Raqib and Atid, the writer and the scribe. They have the same attributes. Now the one on the right, his duty is that whenever the servant does a good deed, he has to rush to record 10 to 700 rewards, based on the niyyah that preceded that action. The one on the left is deputized to record a sin, but he can't write it unless he gets permission from his leader. And every time he asks, he is told, stop, give the person 6 hours, maybe they feel remorseful, and wipe it out afterwards. Don't write it. We need to put on a different set of lenses, because when you peek through a tiny hole, everything looks murky and dark and haram. But if you look with a panoramic view, you'll find such beauty in this Quran. And you need to look with your heart. You can go to Table Mountain your entire life and your eyes just see a rock. But if one idea is opened, it can change your life. Why not go to the mountain or look out here at the mountain and let your heart see Allah's Jalal, His majesty, while your eyes are seeing rock. Go to the beach and your eyes might see ocean, but your heart can see Allah's Jamal and His beauty. So you have a different vision here. Now what stunts these things, what bars us from opening our hearts and becoming better human beings, is precisely what happened with Shaitan. He was in the angelic presence. He knew Allah is one. Allah told him, bow down to that creature who is clay, who is ruh, and has knowledge. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Allah taught Adam the names of everything, and He said, أُسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. All of them bowed down except Iblis. Abba, he was arrogant. وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Just listen to this. He is cursed because he refused to bow down to a human being who had knowledge. He wasn't a kafir because he didn't bow down to Allah. He refused because he said, I am better than him. That's clay, I'm fire. And because his premise was wrong, clay is more humble than fire burns, he's cursed forever because he followed his rational vanity and refused to listen to Allah. And it is kibr, arrogance, that bars you from growing. Me thinking I'm better than you is what bars me from becoming a better human being. Regardless of the cloak and the turban and the top, if we cannot take in one sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, which is the foundation of being a good human being merciful and being genuinely good to people, being merciful, loving people what you love for yourself, then no matter how much we dress like the Prophet, our hearts are still going to be diseased because we want this dunya more than the akhirah. Iblis used his rationality and he refused to listen to Allah Ta'ala's command. He was cursed because he refused to humble himself to a vessel of knowledge. And when you humble yourself before knowledge, you are just invested with knowledge and knowledge and knowledge, and you grow and grow and grow. I'll end off just with two narrations. One young man insulted a woman, insulted a man before the Prophet ﷺ. He said, Ya Ibn as-Sawda, O son of a black woman, a racist comment. And it was one of the rare times anger was seen on the face of the Prophet ﷺ. He never got angry, he smiled permanently, to the point he said, smiling in the face of your brother is sadaqah. He always smiled. He was optimistic, he knew Allah is on his side. And this time, when this man said this racist comment, he repeated something 3 times. He said, لَقَدْ طَفَّ الْكَيْلِ لَقَدْ طَفَّ الْكَيْلِ لَقَدْ طَفَّ الْكَيْلِ. The scales of justice just went down. The unity of the people is destroyed, and the social fabric of our ummah is going down because of your racist attitude, because you think you're better than another person based on his skin color. And he went on to say, there is no difference. لا فرق بين العرب والأجنبي. There's no difference between an Arab and a non-Arab. إلا بالتقوى, except through God consciousness. That when I speak to you, when I smile at you, I'm not thinking in my heart that you are less than me. It's a genuine relationship because Allah is watching me. And he went on to say, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after he stood up for a funeral, he said, firstly, kullukum min Adam, all of you come from Adam, or Adam min turab, and Adam is from dust. Therefore, when we take tayammum, dust should remind us of Adam. It's symbolic of our Father. And wudu for water, because water gives life, and our mothers give life, water should remind us of our mothers. In the old days, when they took wudu, when they washed their hands, they were looking at water and they made dua for their mothers. When they saw dust and took tayammum, they always prayed for their fathers. A funeral passed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He stood up and they said, "O Prophet of Allah, that's a Jew." And he said, "Alaysat nafsan, is that not a soul? Is that not a ruh?" This is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He respected each and every single creation and life. Why? Because they bear a ruh. And that ruh makes every single human being sacred. It's not our command. It's if Allah willed, He would have made everyone one. But He gave us choice and He made things in diversity. Black, white, night, day, sickness, health, everything. And that's why this world complements each other. And if you cannot understand the beauty in diversity, you will hardly connect to His tawheed, because only He is one and everything else has opposites. And that's what creation is. He said, Alaysat nafsan, is that not a ruh, a soul? One of the Shafi'i jurists who passed away recently, Muhammad Abu Zahra, one of the foremost Shafi'i jurists who passed away recently, made a beautiful statement in his book, Alaqat Dawliya fil Islam. He said, لا فرق بين دين ودين في تكريم الإنسان حيا وميتا. There is no difference in religion. All religions are the same when it comes to the sanctity of life. Because life is sacred, and that is our sunnah, and that is the way the Quran guides us. Life is sacred, period. I've quoted now from a book which I've authored, A Fellowship of Faith, which is a commentary on Surah Fatiha, looking at every letter from a linguistic point, from a grammar point, from a rhetoric point, from a spiritual point, and a fiqh point. I'm leaving to Cairo in 2 weeks' time for a month. I go every year to sit by 3 scholars. I ask you to make dua for success for our travels. And I've brought 30 books with me. It's all we have left. Our Shaykh and our Imam will probably mention a bit about it. Shukran again for having me. May Allah accept what we mentioned today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin al-Nabiyil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Bismillah, jazakumullah. Shaykh Allie Khalfe. He's for many years studied at the Azhariya under Sheikh Siraj and Ahmad Hendricks. Then he left for the Al-Azhar to improve his classical Arabic. We are proud of him, we're happy to have him here. And Allah grant him the energy, the strength to inspire us to do the amazing work he's doing. He's got a school going, a madrasa going with various sciences in Surrey Estate. He's a prolific translator of words from Arabic to English, one of it as you've heard. And inshallah, support him because the money goes towards his studies, into his trip, inshallah, and we wish him well on the trip as well. The kitab is Surah Fatiha, a Fellowship of Faith, is going to 150 rand, and all of it goes towards his education and his schooling, inshallah. May Allah please, lots of barakah, inshallah.